Alright, we're on the play for round one. Got an interesting opener that has a Mox Ruby in it. So, 3 mana sources and some good stuff to do. Can't actually cast any of our spells right now. If we draw another island, this hand is pretty much perfect, but I like what it's doing generally. I'm not playing the Mox yet. It's best not to show it to him. We have no use for it. And if we draw like a library or something, we're going to want the cards in our hand. So I'll just hold on to it. Got a blue-black deck, possibly a control mirror. Alright, we drew a blue source. So, is it worth it to play the Mox Ruby now? No, I don't think so. I'm just not going to show it to him yet. Impulse end of turn. I'm tempted to counter it, but I'm not going to. I'd rather do it on his turn so I can resolve something before he does, get onto the board first. I'm hoping he casts something I can counter this turn so I can cast Bribery next turn. Rakdos Signet. Yeah, I think I'm going to counter that. Just because I want to Bribery while he's pretty much tapped out. We only get punished. No, we don't even get punished by like a Force Spike type effect. Because we can play the Mox. So let's just Mana Drain. Not the most efficient use of Mana Drain, but it'll do what we're trying to do, so. We drew Library, which I wish I'd drawn that last turn, but that's alright. So we'll make 2 mana. Play the Mox, I think. Let's think about it. If we cast Bribery, we will have 5 cards in hand. Library puts us to 4, so we're not going to be using a library anytime soon. I'd rather just play out my stuff. I can play around Spell Pierce this way. Let's cast Bribery. See what we're working with. That's it? Oh, he's playing like a Brain Freeze type deck. Okay. What's the best way to mess with him then? Either his deck looks either really bad or his hand is great, so I'm not sure if I'm happy about this. He has a Black Lotus, that's pretty good. I guess I'm just taking Baleful Strix to draw a card. Not the best Bribery in the world. I guess we could try to work our way up to using Library, but that would require us doing absolutely nothing for the next 2 turns. Man, it really sucks because we're already short on playables, and now we know that Bribery and Control Magic are just actively bad against him, which is very unfortunate, and Journey into Nowhere and Supreme Verdict, so we're down to like 15 playables for post board. Although, if he's going to be in the like set up a combo type strategy, we can just sideboard into all of our aggressive 1-drops and have a better chance of winning that way, I guess. I didn't see any sweepers when I looked through his deck. He had like a Terminate and I think 1 like burn spell or something, but it also depends heavily on what's in his hand, because maybe he's just holding like a Consecrated Sphinx and a Grave Titan and some like Vendilion Click or something, and I don't know. Just goes land go. So I guess I'll attack him with his Baleful Strix. So let me think about this. If I just pass this turn and then pass next turn, I can use Library the following turn and then continue using it for the rest of the game. And I have no use for mana past 6 mana really, besides Sphinx's Revelation, so I think it's worth it for me to take a couple turns off and try to get Library going, especially because his strategy looks to be sort of to dirtle around. If he's just not putting pressure on me, I'm fine with doing nothing and eventually drawing extra cards. I just hope he doesn't draw his Yawgmoth's Bargain, because that would be very difficult for us to beat. We saw it in his deck when we Briberied him. And because we're not putting significant pressure on him, he has a lot of draw steps to find it, which worries me. Alright, so now we're back up to 7 cards. So I'll use my library. We can start playing lands. Do I want to play this Relic Warder? I could save it to try to hit like his bargain or whatever, but if he plays a bargain, he can just draw 10 cards or whatever in response, so it's not going to be worth it. I'd rather just pressure his life total. So let's get in. I will elect not to exile an artifact or enchantment. So we have him on a 6-turn clock, which is not going to get it done. It's also a consideration that he could, we want to preserve our library because he has Brain Freeze. So if he Brain Freezes us for like 18, we could survive it if we draw less cards. I don't know if that's enough of a reason to stop drawing cards with library, because he's just going to keep doing nothing until his Storm turn. Oh, that was a good draw. So I will draw a card this turn from library. I'll attack him for 3. So Elspeth's going to put enough pressure on him, I think, that he's going to be forced to do something. Unless he has a counterspell this turn, obviously, which he doesn't. Excellent. He just skipped through his turn. I'm not sure I understand that, but let's attack. Probably going to play Pithing Needle this turn, naming the bargain in case he draws that. It doesn't work against Black Lotus, right? No, it doesn't. So we have him dead next turn. I'm trying to remember. I should have taken a screenshot or something of his deck, so I can remember what all he showed us. But let's draw one more card because that doesn't change the Brain Freeze math. Let's play Pithing Needle. We'll name Yawgmoth's Bargain. And we'll just play a tap land. And what you got? Maybe I should have played the War Priest, because if he kills my Relic Warder, we no longer have lethal, and we didn't know he had like Terminate in his deck. So maybe that was a mistake. We could have given him an extra turn. Alright, he's going for it. Seething Song. So he has to Brain Freeze us for 7. If he does it for 6, we go down to 2 cards in library. Alright, Signet. He could do it. He has enough cards in hand. Demonic Tutor. Yikes. So Storm is 3. Really wish we had a couple more hard counters in our deck. We didn't see a Tendrils of Agony when we looked through his deck, but he could have very well had it in his hand when we briberied him. But he would have to do that for 7 as well. No, he'd have to do that for 10 to kill us. He could do it to stay alive, I guess, but he's not winning that way. Yeah, it's unfortunate because we have all these good control cards, but all of our control cards are only good against creature decks, and he is not a creature deck. Yawgmoth's Will. Okay, that is game, actually. Because then he can just Seething Song, Demonic Tutor for Brain Freeze, and have enough Storm. That's unfortunate. I don't think we saw either of those cards when we briberied him, the Demonic Tutor or the Yawgwill. So yeah. It's rare to see a good Storm deck. His looks alright. He's tapping himself out of blue mana. So I guess our best chance of winning here is him messing up. Could happen. Seen it happen before. If he has the Brain Freeze in hand, I guess he can just go Signet. No, yeah, he can just go Signet, make black, play Demonic Tutor, get Brain Freeze. So he's got us. I always forget that Yawgmoth's Will can let you cast anything from your graveyard, not just instant sorceries. I play Storm in Modern, so I'm used to Past in Flames. Impulse. Okay, so now he really is out of blue mana. So that might have been a mistake. I guess he can just get Black Lotus, huh? So that doesn't matter. But if he doesn't have Black Lotus or Brain Freeze in his hand, it could get awkward. Yeah, kicking myself for not screenshotting his deck when we saw it. It would help me sideboard a lot better as well. So I think I want to bring in Strip Mine against him if he's just trying to work his way up to some amount of mana and storm off like this. It's probably worthwhile. Alright, so we're going Signet, Demonic Tutor, probably for Black Lotus, and then Brain Freeze. There's Black Lotus. Making red. Oh, empty the Warrens. Huh. So that's that's very good for us because we have the Supreme Verdict. So that was very lucky. I think he messed up pretty bad because he could have just gone for before he taps himself out of blue, he could have just searched his deck for Brain Freeze, and he would have had us. So yeah, looks like we went from being unable to win to basically winning here. So I'll draw with Library. Or do I want to draw with Library? I have 19 cards in my library. if he does have enough for like a brain freeze next turn, yeah, that's probably going to be the only way I lose this game, is if he brain freezes me next turn. So, whoa, what's happening here? That was weird. I think I'm just gonna, he has 20 blockers. Let's just attack with everyone. We could also potentially just ignore his guys. We can produce 3 Elspeth tokens, so we can block 3 of his guys. If he attacks us all out, we go to 2, and then he just dies on the swing back. It's probably just safer to Supreme Verdict, though. And then make Elspeth tokens after that. Because we do run the risk of dying to like him attacking us to 2 and then having the drain card, whatever it's called, tendrils. So yeah, damage happens. Relic Warder does nothing when it dies. So let's just Supreme Verdict to be safe. Plus Elspeth. And we'll also play a War Priest of Thune, I guess, as an additional lethal attacker. And go. So yeah, he kind of went for the fancy play. I'm not really sure why he went for the Empty the Warrens plan. Faithless Looting, okay. It's going to be pretty hard for him to rebuild up Storm this turn. Inquisitions me, probably just for information. Yeah, we're gonna have to make some pretty drastic changes to our deck post-board. Four mana now. 5. Memory Jar. Oh, right. We saw Memory Jar. Alright. So we could still do it. Ugh, I totally forgot about Memory Jar. See, this is why we should have taken a screenshot. Oh, I'll feel bad if we lose this game now. 4 spike and days. Maybe that's good enough to win here. Fascinating. So if he taps himself down to 1 mana up, we can get him. Ooh, Brain Freeze also. He only needs to do it for 4 now. That's awkward. So I don't actually know. Oh, he concedes. Wow, that was a roller coaster of emotions there. Alright, time to make some radical changes. Cards we don't want include Control Magic, Bribery, Journey to Nowhere. I'm fine with Supreme Verdict because he has an Empty the Warrens. So I think I like having one of those. I'll bring in my 1-drops and my Ranger of Eos, and I guess Leonin Arbiter is also pretty good against him. And I want Strip Mine as well. I think I can cut Library because we're less likely to have... No, we're going to be on the draw. That's stupid. I can cut an Island. I think I'm more likely to want to cut an Island, but I'm going to cut a Plains. What else? Do we want Venser? None of these other cards are good against him. So we just have to cut one more card. So we're at 18 land. Maybe I don't really want Ranger of Eos. I think it's worth it though, just for Dragon Hunter getting our 2 1-drops. Having the raw card advantage is good with library. So I just have to cut 1 more card. I could cut Seeker of the Way. Relic Warder's good. War Priest is possibly our worst of these cards. Could cut one of these expensive cards. Mirai Angel might not be what we want to be. Oh, Silumgar I don't want. It's an easy one. So then I get to cut Watery Grave and just play actually, I do still want Watery Grave because Marsh Flats can go get it to make blue mana. So yeah, I like this.